Hello everyone, this is Fine from Tech Gaming Villa. I hope you all are well. Today I'm going to talk about the 2 TV, the 77-inch LG C2 and the 75-inch QN90B. You see the top TV is 77-inch LG C2 and the bottom is 75-inch QN90B. Here's some good news regardless of which TV you grab. We'll be looking at a beautifully designed piece of tech that's sure to turn heads. LG and Samsung have clearly poured a ton of thought and care into these high-end models, and that much is clear on sight. Like most OLED TVs, the C2's panel is razor thin, only slightly thicker than most smartphones. When approached from the side, the top half of the TV almost disappears from view. It widens out around the TV's midsection, where the internals are housed, but compared to most TVs on the market, the C2 is impressively severed. LG OLEDs are significantly lighter than they have been in years past. The C2 is a prime example thanks to its lightweight composite fiber material and a lighter than average stand. The stand itself is set downward facing angle with roughly 2 inches of clearance between the bottom of the C2's screen and its surface, so taller soundbars may obscure your view. C2 swaps the series pedestal style stand for a pair of wide set angular feet that meet the display close to its corners. The QN90B's stand design offers a bit more soundbar clearance, and soundbars can be situated directly on top of the QN90B's flat metallic stand. Its panel is not as wafer thin as the C2's, but it's impressively narrow nevertheless, with no bulky midsection to speak of. I also want to shout out Samsung's solar cell remote control, which ships with every QN90B size option. In addition to running on a solar-powered rechargeable battery, the remote is easier to hold than LG's Magic Remote, and its button layout is less cluttered. I much prefer the look and feel of the C2. Its super thin panel is a marvel to behold, and its lightweight build makes it easy to move and wall mount. That said, the QN90B is better suited for a soundbar pairing, and its solar cell remote is quite convenient. This one comes down to personal preference. If you're in need of a charge and don't have time to let Samsung solar cell remote charge itself, you can always charge it manually via a USB-C port on the bottom of the remote. These top-shelf TVs are quite similar from a hardware and software perspective. Both TVs offer a BB of hardware and software-related enhancements that ought to satisfy gamers and AV enthusiasts but there are some critical differences to take into account. Both the C2 and QN90B support 4K gaming at 120 Hz across all 4 of their respective HDMI 2.1 ports, with VRR, LLM, and FreeSync and G-Sync available right out of the box. That said, the C2 supports FreeSync Premium, while the QN90B supports FreeSync Premium Pro, and the latter is capable of delivering performance benefits during HDR games. Both TVs offer a dedicated gaming settings menu, LG's Game Optimizer and Samsung's Game Bar. These menus will be heavily used by gamers, as the relay frame rate information, offer generic specific picture settings, and deliver immediate access to each TV's VRR controls. These features, along with their low input lag and excellent motion handling, make the C2 and QN90B 2 of the best gaming TVs you can buy on 2023. Audio and picture-based enhancements are where these 2 TVs begin to diverge. While the C2 supports Dolby Vision and the QN90B, like all Samsung TVs, skips the popular HDR format for HDR10+. Think of HDR10+ as a royalty-free version of Dolby Vision. Both optimize the picture using metadata in largely the same manner. Despite the similarities between Dolby Vision and HDR10+, both offer scene-by-scene and frame-by-frame dynamic tone mapping. There are currently more titles mastered for Dolby Vision, including select Xbox Series X games. Some Ultra HD Blu-rays and streaming platforms master content for HDR10+, but Dolby Vision is more abundant. Both the C2 and the QN90B can decode Dolby Atmos natively and pass Dolby True HD, necessary for the uncompressed versions of Atmos, directly to a receiver or soundbar, so long as the chosen device also supports ear. Neither TV supports DTS audio though, which is worth keeping in mind if you own Blu-rays with DTS soundtracks. The C2 offers the newest version of LG's web operating system, while the QN90B is running the newest version of Samsung's Tizen-based smart platform. Both interfaces are laid out in a similar manner, with a dedicated home screen acting as the starting point for selecting content. Unfortunately, both software suites emphasize sponsored content, which can be irritating if you are just trying to navigate from one app to another. As far as content goes, web operating system and Tizen offer a similar collection of pre-installed apps with more available to add as you see fit. Each platform is roughly the same when it comes to loading times and occasional showdown. Neither is frustratingly slow, but a dedicated streaming device might offer smoother navigation. If I had to give the edge to one, I would say I prefer web operating system, though I would much prefer to do my streaming by way of Roku. A lack of Dolby Vision on a lesser, more affordable TV might not be much of a pain point, but for a flagship TV in the QN90B's price range, it really hurts. Samsung has its reasons for backing HDR10+, but these reasons are mostly business related. From a features perspective, the C2 and QN90B are mostly neck and neck, but the C2's Dolby Vision support puts it over the top. If you see the performance, the C2 and QN90B both feature world-class performance, but they do so with different philosophies. Because of these are varying approaches, each TV has its own strengths and weaknesses. You are more likely to notice the C2's added brightness in the presentation of specular highlights, like the light reflection of this picture. Being an OLED TV, the C2's foundational asset is its contrast. Like all OLED displays, the C2 is capable of producing perfect black levels, which creates a level of depth and clarity that non-OLED TVs can't quite compete with. There is no light bloom to speak of, so the illumination from brighter picture elements won't spill into their surroundings. The self-emissive nature of OLED displays offers benefits beyond black levels too. The C2's viewing angles are far more accommodating than the QN90Bs. When it comes to color, the C2 features one of the most robust palettes available today. It covers about 98% of the DCI-P3 HDR color space, so film content and next-gen games look every bit as vibrant as their creators intended. In addition, the C2 cinema and filmmaker picture modes require very little calibration out of the box, at least compared to the alternatives. Not only does the C2 look fantastic, but it should also satisfy picture purists who don't necessarily want to hire a professional calibrator. The QN90B absolutely sings in HDR. Most impressive are its searingly bright spectacular highlights. Teeny pools of light appear intensely bright. While the C2 is one of the brightest OLED TVs, its peak brightness has nothing on high-end quantum dot enhanced LED TVs like the QN90B. Samsung's Neo QLED lineup might not be able to recreate OLED's perfect black levels, but they get about twice as bright on average. Basic everyday content like broadcast TV, cable programming, and most streaming content are far brighter on the QN90B than the LG C2. And in HDR, the QN90B is able to deliver searing highlights that the C2 can't match. You are most likely to notice the difference between the C2's OLED display and the QN90B's and mini LED backlighting during HDR content. Reflections of sunlight, fiery explosions, and twinkling stars are all much brighter on the QN90B. As impressive as the QN90B's highlights are, they are not without some drawbacks, because the combination of mini LEDs and quantum dots allows for brightness levels in the 2000 nit range compared to a ceiling of around 800 nits on the C2. The QN90B often struggles to rein its light, which leads to some minor blooming whenever bright picture elements clash with darkness. It's also worth noting that while the QN90B's incredible brightness allows for some super saturated colors, on lab tests indicate that it doesn't cover as much of the DCI-P3 color gamut as the C2, about 91%. Like the C2, the QN90B features a dedicated filmmaker picture mode intended to deliver content in a way that preserves the creator's intent. But it's not nearly as accurate as LG's. As we have seen in the past with the Samsung TVs, the QN90B's out-of-the-box picture settings don't adhere to reference standard as closely as some of its competitors. If you are looking for accuracy, a professional calibration might be in order. So what's this mean for you? Well, out of the box, the LG C2 is better performing TV, at least when it comes to black level, color, and wider viewing angle. That said, if you are planning on placing your new TV in a room that gets plenty of sunlight, the QN90B may be preferred. It doesn't matter what sort of content you are watching, the QN90B is brighter 100% of the time. The LG C2's picture out of the box is more accurate in both the cinema and filmmaker picture modes also. On the other hand, the LG C2 is better fit for dark or dim room viewing, as its deep inky black levels tend to reveal more detail during dark scenes, all while remaining free of light gloom. Unless you have got a bright living space and plan on doing a fair amount of daytime viewing, the LG C2 is the better performer, I will say. If your living space is drenched in sunlight, an OLED TV might not be a good fit. For the vast majority of shoppers, the LG C2 is the best option between the two. The two most popular sizes are marginally cheaper than the QN90B counterparts. Its out-of-the-box picture quality is stronger, and although both of these TVs offer a bounty of extra features, the LG C2 will net you Dolby Vision support. But there's a rather big caveat here, and it has to do with the nature of your home. If you plan on doing a lot of viewing during the day in a brightly lit room, the QN90B is probably the better use of your money. You won't be getting perfect black levels, extra wide viewing angles, or Dolby Vision support, but the QN90B's performance is tailor-made for your needs. So which TV you like, LG C2 or the QN90B? I will pick LG C2. So tell me your thoughts in the comments below. That's it from now. If you like this video, please subscribe and press the bell icon for future notifications update. Thanks for watching.
To change up.